guys, welcome back to the Kit Chronicles. It's me again, Kit, and I'm right here joined by my wonderful friend, Anna. Yay! I am here to ask her a lot of questions about, well, a few questions about being an IT here in the United States, being a Filipino IT in the United States. Anna is an IT here in the United States for how many years already?
I think I started in the IT career way back in 2007.
2007, but that was back in the Philippines, right?
No.
Oh no.
No, when I moved here, I didn't have a job. I just started to get to know people and the culture and all that. And then I got bored and I wanted to try the workforce. So after being acclimated here, so what happened, 2006, I got my first job, but it was not an IT, but I was doing IT on the side. Like consulting, like small business would hire me to set up the computers on the side. So that wasn't really like a full-time career, but it was just on the side. But I started my full-time after graduating at Mid-State like around 2015. And I had my first county job.
Oh yes,
so that was
Wood County.
Yeah, and I was still doing my 2 years because I went to school. Well, I work full time, so it took me about 9 years.
9 years to
finish the 2-year degree.
Okay,
because I have to,
because you've
I have
been
a full-time
working.
job.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's start with the very beginning. Why did you pursue IT? What is it about IT that interests you?
So, well, IT, when I was in college, my first choice, you know, when you go to college, you have to like, you gotta get your major. So my first choice was actually IT. I was in the computer science. And then the computer science degree is 4 years.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna go 4 years. So I'm the type of person that I gotta learn this now. I gotta do this. You mean 4 years going to school for computer? That's kind of long. So what I decided to just switch to 2 years because they offered an associate's degree. But then I said, you know what? I think I should just move on with four years. So I graduated 4 years, Bachelor of Science, Computer Science. And then I moved here in the United States because I got married really early. And then when I moved here, well, IT has been kind of my interest ever since I was a kid. And then my first computer was like in 2000, I think it was 1995.
Wow.
And I remember my mom's savings because I was always like, you know, asking her, can you buy me a new computer? So she spent a lot of money for my computer, and I spent hours and hours of just tinkering around, you know, changing, just like, you know, programming.
Yes.
Like, I would look at the HTML and then I would do some editing and all that. So that's how it all started. And then I like going to the BIOS section of it. So I guess since I was a kid, I'm fascinated with computers.
You're a techie.
I like technology and I like working with computers. So when I moved here, that's when I decided, you know what? I have to pursue my IT because I started with office jobs and then it wasn't for me. Like, I got really bored and I don't like doing it for long term. So I decided to, but it has always been my interest from the beginning.
So you went to school, you went to college for IT back in the Philippines, and then you came here, and then did you have to go to school, right? You have to go back to school here. Is that because the companies here that hire IT professionals want you to be a graduate from here, or what is it a requirement? How did you become an IT in the US?
Well, not necessarily that they want you to, like, you know, like a requirement. It's not a requirement, but I mean, I get it when you move from a different country and then when you move here and you don't have like the stateside experience. Of course, they're gonna ask you what type of experience you could put like on the table. But I don't have that. So you remember, Filipinos, when you move to like a different country, do not expect that because you're a computer science graduate, that you could just like jump into like a computer job.
Right.
Yeah, most company would say like, do you have a stateside experience? And if you don't have that, you're gonna struggle to find. I mean, you'll be lucky if they're gonna put you like in a first level like help desk job without experience here. No, so I didn't really like when I moved here. I wasn't really hoping to jump into IT right away because I get it. They're looking for somebody who's got experience here in the United States. So that's why I decided to pursue like working full time. Maybe I could start from the bottom, like doing office jobs while doing that consulting on the side, like fixing other people's computer. So when I got my job at Midstate, I decided that, you know what, I need to go back to school so I could refresh those. Because if you think about it, computers or the technology actually, like they changes every single day. So if you don't update yourself, you're gonna be way behind.
Right.
So I decided to get the networking, the 2 years degree, while working full time at Midstate.
Yeah.
So that's how.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Working
it's a lot
going
of
to
work.
school.
I mean, it's not like, you know, like, oh, I want to be in IT, and then you expect to have like a job right away.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't
Exactly.
happen. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, I felt it was really hard to go to school and go to work, and it's really good that when you went to work, your work is also like connected to what you went to school for. Like,
It was funny because, you know, as an institute, you work for a mid-state technical college. I work for the school, and I guess in a way they can't say no because it's kind of hypocrite of them to say, oh, we cannot support you with your education if you're like an education industry. So my supervisor made arrangement that I can take 2 classes. I just need to make sure I make up time, something like that. So you need to have the support, not just from the home front, but also for like people that you work around with. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. There's a lot of things that you have to work on. You gotta make decision if you're gonna like pursue that or not. Because I started in the office.
Yes.
And if I probably didn't have the guts to go to school while working full time, I would not be able to be back in the IT.
Yeah, so it's like you really have to start from the bottom and work your way up to the top.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
And
You have to have the right mindset, the right attitude. You have to be patient. You have to focus on that, and you have to be confident.
Yes, but she is. So that is one of the
secret recipe for being successful here in the workforce is you have to have the confidence, and then you have to speak their language.
But there's one thing you'll never be able to work your way up to.
What
is it?
6 feet tall.
That was just my husband. See you later.
So my next question is, I think this connects really well with the second one, which is, was it easy to get an IT job after school?
Again, I think I'm just lucky. Well, I was already doing some volunteering work, and I think my experience with consulting before I had my full-time job at Midstate Technical College, I think it helped. And also, I was also doing a remote job for a software company. So what I was doing is help desk, like troubleshooting. So here, before I moved here in Wisconsin Rapids, I have a job that I left from Grafton, and then they want me to take it with me. So I was working full time at Midstate, and then at night I worked like 5 hours. So I was still doing my old job. So I think that helped. And then I was just like, you know, I'm not even worried about getting a job because being at Midstate, I was confident that maybe there's an opening in the future. I could just apply internally. That was my goal. But then the Wood County job opens up, and then my husband, okay, you gotta remember that you have to have somebody behind you supporting, like, you know, clapping and then just like lifting you up, because as a Filipino, I think we are so worried about like, I don't have what it takes.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm like ESL. I don't speak fluently English, and like maybe they're looking for somebody like from this country. Not good. So my husband found that job posting, and then he said like, you know what, you should apply for this. I didn't even thought about it because I was still doing my classes. I wasn't even done with my program. So what he said like, no, you gotta apply for it. Maybe they're like you. The worst thing they can tell you is that you didn't get the job, we don't like you, whatever. But at least you went there and you not only experienced being interviewed, but you have some kind of like, oh, I've been to this interview, I know the expectation next time what to do. So I have that kind of the back of my mind that whether they're gonna like me or they're gonna hire me or not, well, at least I have experience how being interviewed in the IT job.
Right.
So I went there, and then I was actually called like the second batch of applicants. The first batch of applicants were I think how she worded it, it was like the first batch were like the ones that we really like. That have all the qualifications and all that. But then she said the second batch, she didn't have the experience, but you have like the support, like the customer side of it. One thing I'll tell you being in the IT is that they're looking for somebody who's got a really good experience dealing with people. You have to have the personality, because personality cannot be taught. But if you don't have the experience, you can get that experience while in the job.
Exactly.
But if you don't have good customer service, that's how she explained it when she offered me the job. Like, you may not have the experience, the skills under your belt, but if you're teachable, if your willingness to learn, and you're always like, just willing to learn, then we could teach you. That's exactly what she told me, and I really didn't expect that I'm gonna get that job.
Right.
It was really not.
Yeah. So first thing is be confident, and then second, just go for it, right?
You gotta
So
have the
just-
confidence that you
gotta
have
have-
what it takes.
Yes.
But it's hard, easier said than done, right?
Yes.
When you don't have the experience and you're like running against these people who have lots of experience under their belt, then of course you're gonna second guess yourself. But one thing I can tell you is that you have to have the confidence. Like, they may have the skills, but there may be something that's lacking. So yeah, that's pretty much. And my husband really helped me, because he's the one who always like tell me like, you don't feel that way. You have what it takes. So you need to have the support.
Yes. So you
from
also
the home
have
front.
you also have to have that supportive
yeah.
person always telling you to go for it. So one of the reasons that I did not pursue my IT career is that a person in my life, after I graduated IT, expected me to earn big right away.
Doesn't happen that way.
Yes, so I felt pressured, I felt stressed out that how can I get a job
Pressure.
when I don't have the experience,
Exactly.
And if you want to have that really huge pay,
You have to start at
you
the bottom.
you gotta have the experience that they want, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Right. So did you start from the bottom? Did you like the
Oh
pay
my
grade? The pay grade.
Well,
did you have to like? You went for internship, right? Did you?
yes.
Yes. Okay. Internships don't really pay that much.
It depends on what company.
Okay.
But some company does pay.
Okay.
But being at the college, I just did my internship there.
Okay.
So I didn't have to like go somewhere. It was, I volunteered, like I got some help, and then also because of my job. I mean, I was already doing some parts of the IT during my consulting and all that, and doing the repairing computers on the side, so that was counted. So I really started, you have to start at the bottom. Back like 10 years or so ago, I started as a collection. I was hired because I know how to speak Tagalog. So what I was doing is I was collecting debt of Filipinos in California because I speak Tagalog. I called them, and it was such a crappy job. I didn't last though. I only lasted like maybe 5 months.
Yeah.
And then I made more money. I think my hourly was like $7 or $8 per hour. So I earned more commission collecting money or their debt than my hourly wage. So that's how I started. I started at $8 per hour. And then I started with like a pharmaceutical company doing the software troubleshooting. Yeah, the money wasn't really good. And then I decided that we have to move up here because my husband's parents lives here. And then I said, you know what? I want to get a job from Midstay. I want to work there. And I pursued that. There was like an administrative assistant job that opened up. I submitted my resume. I got interviewed, and I got the job. So that's how it all started.
So you also mentioned you volunteered.
Do a lot of volunteering work.
Yes.
And then a lot of that are like, I guess it just doesn't fall on your lap if you're just gonna be at home, like, depressed about what your situation because it doesn't look like it's gonna be the way you expected it. Nothing's gonna happen to you.
See, I wanted to volunteer, but I was told no, because if it doesn't pay you anything, why do it? You know,
you have to.
I wanted to do it because
remember I was
have
telling you about that,
experience.
like, just get anything.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they don't pay you, but you have that experience under your belt, and sometimes they will even hire you after.
Right.
If they like your work ethic, if you have the attitude.
Exactly. But so I think this is already answered, but I'm gonna mention it anyway. How did you gain hands-on experience so you can land your first IT job? So you said you did some consulting.
Yeah, it's more like, it's not even like the formal consulting that you have your LLC business type. No, it was more of a word of mouth. Like, for example, I fixed her computer, and then she told her friend that I fixed computer. So it's kind of like the word of mouth, like referrals.
Okay.
So I guess that helped a lot. And then one thing also, you have to be confident, because like if English is not your first language, I'm not trying to say that this is everything or every people expects you to have like broken English. I think when you start opening your mouth, at least you could enunciate, you could converse with them well. I think they're kind of impressed with you. They would say, like, I think you could do the job, because that's the first thing. You need to learn the language first, and then being able to be confident that you have what it takes, that you could do the job, as long as you're the willingness to learn. So yeah, that's how probably that helped.
Yeah.
Getting the job. And I think I was also very lucky that Amy, that was her name, that she gave me a chance.
Amy, the
IT
county
director, yeah. Because she told me, like, I know it was like, you sounded too good to be true, but I just have to find out. And then she told me that, the expectation was beyond what she did, because we Filipinos, we like to impress our employee.
Right.
We would walk extra mile, just even if it's not our job. If you know and if you can learn the job, we're willing to do it. I think that's just our attitude.
Right. Yes, exactly. So, what are the challenges of being an IT professional?
The challenges would be, first thing, when you talk about getting in the door, that would be the first challenge, because a lot of companies, when you read the job description, they would say you need to have at least 2 years experience.
Okay.
So that first, that you read that on the job description, it's like, well, I don't have it. Secondly, I think the challenges would be like sometimes the language barrier. Yeah, we can understand them, we can converse with them, but there are things that, like, I don't know how to word it.
Yes.
Because when I started, the terms and all the jargons and all that, and last one would be, the challenges would be like, maybe when you're in the job and you don't have a supportive colleagues, so something like that, like the morality is not there. So but pretty much, from speaking from my own experience, I didn't really have a lot of challenges, because when I am in that job, it's my job. You have to have the attitude that, they give me this job, I gotta take care of this. It's something that, people would go for, and I just got lucky enough to get in this job. So I guess it's the mindset. That's why I don't have a lot of challenges. I think the challenges would be like, you don't have the experience, and then you're like in a rush, you're like, I gotta do this, I gotta move to a different level. I think it's more like that. So I think frustration is more like you created it.
Right. Yeah.
It's not really part of,
Was it a challenge being a woman in this industry?
I think it would be yes and no.
Okay.
Again, it depends on what company.
Okay.
It depends on the organization culture, because you could, just like when I started at Wood County, I mean, the IT director is a woman. So that alone, that probably helped me.
Right.
But when working with guys, because majority in the IT are males,
Yes.
it's more like a non-traditional
Yes.
jobs for women. No, I really don't have challenges, because again, it's in the mindset.
Right.
Because if you join a team, like right now where I work, I'm the only woman, and like there are like 20 of us, and I'm the only one.
Yes.
So I guess in a way, they may have seen that I don't care about like being a woman in there, but I've seen it, like I've read about it, I've heard about it, that there's some kind of a discrimination happening. But firsthand, I really don't have an experience. It's always been the best experience working with guys. So
That is great.
yeah,
that
and
is great.
not trying to be judgmental with women. I work better with women. I mean, with men than women. I guess because we are emotional. So
More drama.
more drama. But guys, they just do the job.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're so quiet. They're not very expressive. They may have feelings, but they don't really tell. It's not very transparent.
But anyway, what are the advantages this time of being an IT?
I think the advantage is because the technology has evolved like every day. It's constantly changing. So I guess it's a good industry. So, but I gotta tell you that you gotta have the interest with it, because if you don't, you're just for money. It's gonna show. You're not gonna last in the industry. I know a lot of people like, oh, just do the job for money.
Right.
No,
And that's one of the advantages, because big money, right?
yeah, it's it's in demand right now, especially with the cybersecurity and the all the attack, the cyber wars, and then the threats that we're facing. So there's gonna be a lot of job, and I expect that for the last probably for the next 5 years, it's just gonna. I mean, it's been evolving. It's a lot of career there. You just have to focus on that. If that's something that you want, though, you gotta have the interest to do it, because that's what it takes. If you don't have the interest, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You have to have that.
I agree. So what advice can you give to people who wants to be
In the IT.
in the IT industry, in this career?
Well, first of all, again, you gotta have that interest. Yeah, I mean, being an IT just doesn't happen overnight. You have to have the mindset. You have to have the skill. It may not be applicable for a real world or a workforce, but you gotta understand the basic.
Okay. Yes, of course.
Basic computers.
Yes.
Computing. And also, IT has a lot of no, like you said, like, oh, IT, oh, you fix a lot of things. No, you could be like the software side of it. You could be in the hardware side of it. So my advice would be, just if you really want this career, go for it. And also, do not be focused on, I gotta get that 4 years degree. Because in the IT industry, if you have the skills, you have a 2-year degree. Sometimes employers would not even care if you have the education. They're looking for skills, the skill set, and how flexible you are, or the willingness to learn, and also how humble.
Okay.
A lot of tech guys who just started in this industry think that they know everything, and that's a mistake. I mean, somebody asked me like, hey, can you help me with this Excel? I'm gonna look at them like, I can find and look for it, but I'm not really good. Do not be afraid to tell them that you don't know, because if you tell them like, oh, I know that, like, no, that's not a good attitude to have. So if you want to be successful in this industry, it's all about the attitude,
Right.
and you have to have the personality. You have to have a thick skin to be able to deal with customers or end users that are like grumpy, because it's not like a piece of cake. I'll tell you, there are like end users who are frustrated, and if they're frustrated, don't take it personally, because if you take it personally, you're not gonna get anywhere.
You're not gonna
with
last.
this. And also gotta ask questions. A lot of questions. Don't be afraid. Because if you're afraid to fail, you're never gonna get anywhere in life. So just make mistakes and learn from it, and just be confident. That's the only thing I would say. Because if you don't have that self-esteem, if you don't have the confidence that you have what it takes, it's gonna show.
One huge chunk of getting that IT job is skills, right? And
The right attitude.
yes, and for someone like me who has no experience, where can I get the experience that will help me get through the door?
I guess the willingness to do volunteer work.
Okay.
You can start, like, for example, like if you know how to fix computers, start with your relatives, and then the word of mouth. They're gonna say, hey, my cousin or my sister or somebody I know fixes computer. Go with her. Do not be afraid to look online too, because some organization, if you call them like, hey, I am like a graduate of this, and maybe you could use me for something, maybe 2 hours a day or what. I just need to get that hands-on experience. And most companies are willing to do that, are willing to help you. And sometimes you just have to be willing not to get paid.
I know, yes.
You have to like, I'm willing to do the work without being paid because I need to have that.
The experience.
Yeah, because if you expect to get paid right away without experience, I mean, it's sad because sometimes you're like, no, I just graduated. Where am I going to get that experience if I just graduated? I got to get that experience. That's why I'm applying for this job. But there's a lot of non-profit organization. Like, you could start like even just collecting computer, doing their desktop inventory, stuff like. There's a lot of way. There's gotta be a way, and there's a lot out there. But you can't just sit and wait and solve it. Oh, I think I'm not getting anywhere. No, you gotta find it. You gotta ask.
Okay, so finally, I know I've asked you about the advice you can give to anyone who wants to be in the IT industry. How about for a Filipino who wants to be in the IT industry here in the United States?
For Filipinos, if you already have like experience under your belt when you move here in the United States, good for you. But be humble. You can try and apply for jobs. But if you're not getting anywhere after applying and then you're being rejected, do not lose hope. There's a lot of ways you can go back to school. You can get a 2-year degrees. I mean, go to a technical college if you don't want a 4-year degree, or get certified. A lot of people I know in the industry that they didn't even have 2-year degree. They just do it in their own, like get certifications. That's just the best thing about here in the United States is that they don't look for 4-year degree. I mean, I guess it depends on what company. It does affect the hiring staff. Some people likes to get, see their candidate or applicants to have 4-year degree. But again, it depends on what job. But majority I know, as long as you have that skills, you have certification, it's a good point. I mean, if you have certifications under your belt, that might help you. But always willing to start at the bottom. You can get help desk job. You could get like maybe fix computers or doing inventory, and then you could move your way up. I mean, I started at the bottom, and then now I'm at the stage where I want to stay there, or maybe like move up a little bit
more. Yeah.
But don't rush yourself. I mean, you gotta look at your current situation. If the job is for you, like you want to be promoted on the top, just make your
Awesome. Thank you so much. Really good advice from
I
Anna.
hope that helped.
Yes, it does. I learned a lot. So anyway, thank you so much, Anna, for sharing your story and sharing all of the advice to all of us. Thank you for being in my vlog for free.
She brought some food.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching my vlog. If you have any experience in the IT industry, if you're a Filipino working in the IT industry here in the US or just in the Philippines, it doesn't matter. Share your experience, comment, share, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And
If you have any questions too, feel free to ask her.
Yes, you can ask me.
Answer them.
Yes. and we can also ask her.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Bye.